Hello, I'm the Lady of the Lighted Path, and welcome to this week's beginning of the weekend site. We're going to move away from the angels for not for too long, but just to express, because last week we went through communication, and so far everything's been happy and bubbly, new beginnings, new this, new job, new everything. But life is not just 100% happiness. There's some sorrow in there too. So we're going to bring it down, take it down a notch, and return to reality and speak about a lot of what life can give us, which is heartache. The Three of Swords. Seeing how some relationships that we are involved in are just not meant to be. I know at the start when you first jumped in it seemed that way, but after spending a week of communication and everything, sometimes we gotta address the fact that things are just not working out and there's heartache. This card also means a love triangle and jealousy. So if you ever get a reading from me and the Three of Swords comes up, either you're really hurting, you're involved in a love triangle, or you're jealous of someone or someone is jealous of you. There's a difference between envy and jealousy that many people don't know about that we're going to discuss briefly here. Envy and jealousy are somewhat the same, but a little different. So, envy generally comes for someone that loves us. Your mother, your father, your brother, your sister, anyone can envy you. As far as being a familial, as far as being in a family relationship, or even your friends. Jealousy generally comes from someone on the outside. Not saying that people that love you can't be jealous of you. Well, what's the difference between envy and jealousy? Envy, there's love involved. Jealousy, sometimes it reaches the point of hatred. The real difference between envy and jealousy is that with jealousy, underneath the surface is violence. This can lead to violence. And sometimes you're in a relationship where, you lose control and it's not cool, but you pop off and you hit that. That's the kind of anger and hurt that's there. That's what this card deals with. And that's what we're going to be dealing with this week, is learning how to heal from heartache. Because life is not all sunshine and roses. We all know that. So we're going to have to deal with heartache this week, and sadness, and maybe a breakup. I'm not going to lie to you. I myself just went through it wasn't really a breakup, seeing how it wasn't really a deep relationship. It was mainly a friendship. But it still hurt, and I cried. But I realized that I was the only one giving in this relationship. I was constantly giving and giving and giving and giving and giving. And even though we both have degrees in communication, this person was not talking until finally I threw in the hat. Then they said something that I did that upset them many years ago. Well, not many moons ago. Let's talk about that, about the two monks. I'm going to tell you a story about the two monks. Two monks were going on a pilgrimage to the Holy Land. And one was a little older and wiser, and the other one was youth and learning, like mentor-mentee type deal. And the one rule they had was they are never, ever, no kind of contact, whether sexual or just friendship, no touching a woman. These two monks. Well, they're walking along this road, and they're talking about, life and philosophy and stuff. And they come across a woman standing in front of a muddy stream. Well, this woman is standing there weeping, and you could tell she's in a wedding gown. She's probably on her way to her wedding. She's standing there weeping, and the older and the wiser monk approaches her and says, "Hey, what's wrong?" And she says, "My fiance, or my soon-to-be husband, is waiting for me. I'm over an hour late. I think he thinks I don't want to marry him. I don't know if he's still at the temple or whatever, waiting for me." And she's like, "I don't want to lose face." They're Asians. They don't want to lose face. She don't want to show up to the wedding all covered in mud and disgusting, because people would judge her. So she just stood by the stream and cried. And he said, "Well, I'll tell you what. I'll carry you." He picked her up, carried her across the stream, and sent her with many blessings to her wedding. And they were walking along, and this time, instead of, both talking back and forth, the younger monk was a little quiet. He wasn't saying much. He was short, curt, and just, to the point. He wasn't being as open as he was before. And finally, after, several miles of walking, the older monk says to the younger monk, my friend, may I ask you what what is wrong? You seem to be different. And finally, he just popped off and like, you know we're never supposed to touch a woman. You carry the woman. You actually held her in your arms. And he was like, my friend, I put that woman down hours ago. Are you still carrying her? So there's certain things, the lesson is that we have to let go. And that was the one thing that I learned, that this person was carrying around something that I said some time ago and just popped off. And I'm like, I let it go. I moved on. I was still talking about this and that. And it's just, I learned that some people are just like that. Don't be like that person. And in order to get heartache out, another thing you need to do is cry. I was trying to debate what song I wanted to put on the site for you guys. And I think I've chosen Whitney Houston, Where Do Broken Hearts Go? But I was also debating between the song by Life called Cry. It's a very powerful song. And that's how I got over the heartache that I went through. And I just went, I cried it out, got all the tears out, and the next day, it's like, you know what? I was fine. And the one reason why I was fine is I realized I didn't lose anything. I was the one giving. I'm sure that you might be in relationships where it's like, 50-50 or at least 60-40, 70-30. The other person, I got nothing from this person. And so it was just basically let it go. And I realized that I'm better off. And you will be too.